What if, overnight, Nigeria's oil revenues start bleeding because a union shut off the taps? That's exactly what the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, is claiming. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, says it's losing heavily in this standoff. In a bold move, the union halted gas and crude oil supplies to Dangote Refinery, and NNPC is now sounding the alarm on the fallout. Here's a full breakdown: how the dispute escalated, what's at stake for Nigeria's energy, economy, and politics, and how the battle might resolve or spiral further out of control. The flashpoint. What triggered the shutdown? The union's directive. In a bid to pressure Dangote Refinery management, PENGASSAN issued an order to halt all gas and crude supplies to the refinery. The union insists this is in protest of mass sackings of workers and claimed Dangote violated labor laws, constitutional rights, and international labor conventions. By pulling the supply strings, PENGASSAN aimed to escalate the pressure, strikes, shutdowns, and economic pain as leverage. NNPC's reaction and lament. NNPC says the supply halts are inflicting significant losses on its operations and jeopardizing revenue. The company is reportedly taking a hit because crude and gas flows disrupted means less throughput, fewer exports, lowered refining capacity, and likely penalties or wastage. In public statements, NNPC urged stakeholders to seek a peaceful resolution, insisting the energy economy cannot bear prolonged disruption. The wider impact: energy, power, and economic ripples. Power generation collapse. Because many power plants rely on gas inputs, the stoppage has already begun to strain the electricity sector. Reports from The Guardian show the national electricity generation fell as low as 2,700 megawatts amid the strike, roughly half of normal output, leading to outages and grid stress. This cascading effect threatens to bring widespread darkness, especially in urban and industrial areas. Crude export and revenue losses. Nigeria's ability to export crude or refined products is under threat. With supply lines choked, NNPC may miss export windows or contractual obligations. Some analyses estimate daily losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars if flows are not restored quickly. Shutdown of regulatory offices. The disruption has not been limited to supply. PENGASSAN members reportedly locked the gates of NNPC, NMDPRA, NUPRC, and other regulatory bodies, preventing even regulatory operations oversight. Without regulatory activity, permits, audits, approvals, the administrative machinery of Nigeria's oil sector can grind to a halt. Business and industry pain. Industries depending on gas or refined fuels are already feeling strain. Manufacturing, cement, food processing, petrochemicals, all vulnerable. The broader economy could suffer inflationary pressures, fuel scarcity, transport cost hikes, supply chain disruptions. The stakes and strategy. Who holds leverage? PENGASSAN's position. Strengths. Control of supply pipelines is a powerful bargaining chip. They can cause real disruption. Public sympathy plays for worker rights, especially in the face of perceived sacking injustices. Ability to escalate, involve other unions or widen the strike. Risks. If the public or government turns against them, they could be painted as saboteurs. Legal orders or injunctions may force them to lift the blockade or risk sanctions. Prolonged standoff may erode goodwill, weaken their negotiation position. NNPC and Dangote's position. Strengths. They represent national strategic interests, energy stability, export income, investor confidence. They can pursue legal redress or injunctions to force restoration of supply. They may lean on state power, regulatory, police, or special intervention. Vulnerabilities. Any prolonged shutdown will damage their image, financials, and legitimacy. They risk suppressing labor rights, which has political backlash. The cost of rebuilding and compensating damage may be huge. Possible paths forward. Scenario. Likelihood, potential outcome. Government mediation or intervention, high. The federal government or Ministry of Labor steps in to broker a deal, possibly mandating resumption. Legal injunctions and court battles, medium to high. Courts may restrain union actions, compel resumption, or fine parties. Partial resumption or compromise. Medium. Some supplies restored in phases as negotiation proceeds. Re-escalation or wider strike. Medium. If demands are not met, PENGASSAN could widen action to other sectors. Complete breakdown and economic fallout. Low to moderate. If shutdown continues too long, national energy collapse, blackouts, reputation loss. A key variable will be how long NNPC and Dangote can financially and operationally sustain the disruption, and how much pressure the public, business groups, and government apply. What to watch closely in coming days. Announcements from Minister of Labor, Petroleum Ministry, President's Office on mediation or deadlines. Legal filings, court orders, whether the union is restrained. Supply restoration signals, not full, but partial resumption in gas or crude flows. Power generation statistics, if megawatts continue to drop, that's an early sign of deeper systemic collapse. Public outcry and business sector pressure. Will this become a political crisis? Union statements, whether they escalate or show willingness to retreat. Final thoughts. This isn't just a labor row. It's a clash of power, symbolism, and control over Nigeria's lifeblood, energy. PENGASSAN knows exactly where to pull the plugs, in gas and crude pipelines, to force attention. NNPC and Dangote, meanwhile, risk everything if the blackout spreads beyond boardrooms into homes and factories. If blood is in the circuit, the nation bleeds. The coming hours and days will reveal whether this is a negotiation or a reckoning.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.